What is going on, guys, and welcome into my predictions for Week 8 of this NFL season. I don't know how we're already in Week 8. We're pretty much halfway through. This should be a huge week considering the trade deadline and all those things. If you haven't, go check out my trade deadline video. I'm talking about trades who might happen in this deadline. Either way, right here I will show you a picture of the jersey winner. She got her jersey finally. Congrats, Elizabeth, once again. And just a reminder, once we hit 1,000 subs, we will do another jersey giveaway. So, get me to 1,000 and we'll give away another jersey. Either way, let's get right into this video. Alright guys, so here are our Week 8 predictions. Let's go ahead and get right into this. First off, checking in our record so far. Like I said, I didn't do Week 1 for some reason. Last week was not a good week. Let's just go ahead and discard that. Missed big on, obviously the Niners game was a bad one. What else did I get wrong? 9 games out of 13. Rough week. I did get the Steelers, the Eagles. That's about it. I think I predicted the Browns over the Colts, but I don't know. Not a great week overall. Either way, I'm still 52-38, but let's try to get a better lead this week. Starting off, I did rearrange these some. They're a little bit cleaner now. Not as much info. I just felt like it was getting a little bit overdone. The Bills, the Bucks. This is just offensive and defensive rankings. There's not a whole lot that matters at this point in the season. These have become, a bit more concise of what they mean. The Bills have had a good offense. They've had turnovers. That's been their issue, but that's Josh Allen. It's okay. He throws the ball down the field. It's going to happen. You're going to turn the ball over. The defense has been very good. They're 4-3, though. They've lost some games they should not have lost at all. And it's pretty inexcusable, some of the games they have lost, including last week to the Patriots. The first game against the Jets, not really something you should lose. But it happens every now and then. And divisional games always go either way. But in this matchup, the Bucks have been a rough offense, especially the last few weeks. They started out 3-0 and have gone 0-3 since. The defense has been very good. This is a good roster. They should not have lost 3 of those games that they lost in a row. I'm not saying they should be 6-0, but maybe, 4-2 or, something like that. They should be better, but that's a coaching issue. Todd Bowles is a terrible head coach. Either way, this one is going to be the Bills. I think it will be them advancing to 5-3. They're just the better team here, and, they're just going to, especially after a loss last week to New England, they're not going to lose this game. Moving on, Dallas and LA on 1 o'clock in that time frame. I think this could be a really good matchup. The offense for LA has been good. They've moved the ball very well this season. The defense has been mediocre, but the Cowboys' offense has been mediocre at best. The Cowboys have yet to prove they could play against real teams, and so this Rams game is going to be interesting because the Rams are a very middle-of-the-pack team. They're not necessarily a great team, but they're not a bad team either. This one really could go either way. I think this is going to depend on who turns the ball over more. And yes, that is a lot of games, but these two quarterbacks are both very prone to interceptions and turnovers. Dak, Stafford, they're for different reasons though. Dak because he's an idiot and a bonehead. Stafford because he's kind of like that Josh Allen type that throw it down the field, and if they're open, great. If they're not, well, that's a pick, but who cares? At least we tried. Either way, I'm going to have to take the Cowboys. They'll get to 5-2. Rams fall to 3-5 is what it is. Moving on. The Packers and the Vikings. Wow, that one really missed. Packers started out really great. 2-0. Jordan Love looked like a dude. They have fallen off that hill. Their offense has not been good. Bottom 7 in the league so far. The defense has been middle of the pack, but that's very Packers-esque. They're a good defense. They're always something decent on defense. Doesn't really matter what's going on. Vikings, on the other hand, offense has been good. That's not a shock. Even without Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison has stepped up huge. KJ Osborne is a fine receiver. TJ Hawkinson's a good help. But the defense is not very good. However, the defense has been better than they should have. I gave them some hope against the Niners, and they were able to come out. Yeah, I predicted the Niners, but who wouldn't? Either way, this Vikings team's not done. And this is a divisional game. It definitely could go either way, but the Vikings are going to be in a spot to win another good game, and they're firmly within reach of this division. 4-4 is a lot better than 2-6. They are, if they would have lost last week, this would be rough. If they would, this game is huge for them. If they get here and the Lions lose another one, they're within like a game and a half of that lead of the division. So The Vikings winning this game would be huge for them. I think they will come out on top this week. Titans versus Falcons is an interesting one, to say the least. The Falcons had that Bijan issue last week where he kind of just didn't play for no reason. He apparently felt weird the night before the game, went to bed, took some medicine, woke up, didn't feel a lot better, felt even more weird. Not really anything about it, though, sick-wise. I don't know. I don't think he'd been COVID tested or whatever it is. There's just, who knows. Either way, they've been a middle-of-the-pack team throughout. Winning some games that they probably shouldn't, but losing some games they probably shouldn't as well. Tennessee, on the other hand, offense has been pretty rough. Defense has been pretty good. They just shipped out Kevin Byard. They are looking to sell other players. Derrick Henry, D-Hop are apparently on the market right now, interestingly enough. And Tannehill's out. They're supposedly going to start Will Levis this week, and he's going to be the starter from here on out until at least Tannehill's back and healthy, or maybe even further. Who knows? They might as well. I mean, Tannehill's not anything special. Just go ahead and move on to the future. But this game could be interesting. The Falcons are a volatile enough team to lose this one. The Titans are good enough to scrape out a win, depending on Will Levis's play, obviously. But I'm going to go with the Falcons, especially with the fact that Will Levis might be playing. I think the Falcons have enough defensively, offensively, run game-wise. They can clean this up. They can, limit Desmond Ridder's, usage so he doesn't give the ball up as much, and they'll win this game. Moving on, Colts and Saints, middle-of-the-pack team versus a lower-end team. Yes, their offense has been 10th, but, that's just an overinflated amount of, yardage and things like that. The Colts offense is okay. It's not great. It's not a top 10 offense, let's be real. This game, they're starting Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew is a capable player, but there's not much else to say about him past that. The Saints, Derek Carr has looked iffy. A lot of it's to do with his footwork and just the way, taking too many dropbacks, taking his time on some throws that he shouldn't, underthrowing some balls because he's holding the ball too long, etc., etc. There's just more to that. But here's the thing. They're the better team, and they will come out on top. They'll move to 4-4, regain a hold of this division as well. They won't be leading it, but they'll be close, and that'll be big for them, I believe. Derek Carr just needs to get his footing right, and literally, in terms of his footwork, the way he's working the pocket, getting up the field, all those kinds of things, and this team could be so much better with that little addition from Derek Carr. Moving on, another divisional matchup, Dolphins versus Pats. The Dolphins' offense has been number one, but that might be a little bit misconstrued with the fact of the 70-point game from Denver earlier this season. The defense has not been great. It really just hasn't been. They looked very rough against Philly. They are just not physical enough to take out Philly. And this is a divisional game. That could be rough for them because the New England Patriots are another physical team. I don't necessarily know if the Patriots have enough to beat the Dolphins, but being a divisional rival and being, that same type of Philadelphia team that's, just super physical and they're going to pound it. They're going to do what they do. It doesn't matter what you do. They're going to make you play their game. Patriots could have a shot here. Patriots had some life last week against the Bills, took them out. Another divisional game. Things happen in divisional games because those teams are too comfortable with each other. But I'm still going to have the Dolphins winning. They're too good. There's too much to fight with. The Bills were too good. The Bills were too much to fight with. They still lost. So I'm not just saying it's it for Patriots fans, but if you're a Patriots fan, going against the Bills and the Dolphins 4 times in a year, that's rough, man. Moving on, Giants, Jets, Battle of New York. The Giants have sucked. The Jets have been okay. Tyrod has really looked a lot better. Last week, no mistakes. That was what was important. He's not an elite quarterback. He's not the ceiling Daniel Jones has. He's not amazing, but he doesn't throw the ball to the other team 2 to 3 times per game. And while that's a little bit sarcastic, it's also true. Daniel Jones is a very messy player. When it works, it's great. When it doesn't, it's abysmal. It's not survivable. The Jets, however, the defense is very good. Maybe that can affect Tyrod Taylor some. I would assume if you're the Giants, keep playing Tyrod until you have reason not to. But the Jets will win this game. They probably win every matchup except for the quarterback position. If they're playing Tyrod, that is. Tyrod's just cleaner. Zach Wilson's going to make mistakes too. Tyrod might not. He's a good manager of a game. He's a career backup, and that's fine. But, yeah, the Jets just can outpower them in pretty much everything else. So, Jets will win, move to 4-3. The Steelers and the Jaguars. This could actually be a very important game for the AFC. Because while the Jaguars have a good shot to win their division, the Steelers are, also in contention for their division. The Steelers have not been a good football team so far, and they are 4-2. I don't think that's getting enough credit. Yes, I'm a Steelers fan. If you're not aware already, Le'Veon Bell jersey in the back. But the point is, they have had a very messy first 5 games. The last game was pretty good. But messy games, and they were 3-2 in those. What happens when they start clicking on offense and making the defense stand up? And that defense, in terms of personnel, is probably the best defense in the league. What other team has 3 All-Pros, if not more? Not many. Maybe the Niners. I don't know. Either way. They have the best edge rusher. They have the best safety. They have a great interior D lineman in Cam Hayward. They have a great other counterpart in Alex Highsmith, etc., etc. I don't need to go into it anymore. The Jaguars have been decent, but not great. Etienne's been good, and he'll probably carve up the Steelers. But Trevor Lawrence has not really been on his A game. Their defense has been good in this game, rough in that game, decent in this game, just all over the place. I think the Steelers could really take advantage of that and win this game and move to 5-2. The Jaguars might underestimate them a little bit, but here's the thing. Mike Tomlin's going to win games that you don't think he will, and that's, a huge deal when you have this Pittsburgh Steelers team. Mike Tomlin can win you a lot of games, even if he shouldn't. Another 1 o'clock game, and we have the Commanders and the Eagles. This is the rematch from the first game. The first game was great. However, I don't think the second game follows suit. As you can see, the offensive and defensive rankings are just far apart. The Eagles are a better top-half team. The Commanders are not, and the Commanders have only gotten worse this season. Sam Howell looks to be pretty good, but, it's a divisional game. It could go either way. The Commanders could get, get their game back from the first time when they almost won. But, I have to go with the Eagles. They're just the better team. It is what it is. Moving on. Another 1 o'clock game. Battle of the top 2 QBs. Bryce Young, CJ Stroud. This one could be interesting. The Texans have overperformed in every facet. I don't think anybody expected them to be a top half offense, much less a top half defense. Great. That's awesome. This could be his roadblock, though. The 0-6 team, the Panthers, this could be rough. I think Bryce Young comes out and does show he was the number 1 overall pick. This is a very big game for him to prove himself. And if that's the case, well, he might be very good. And if not, the Texans might just be the better team right now. But this is an easy game. It's a trap game. It really could be. And Bryce Young could really prove his number 1 overall pick here. And that might be just enough to get them this win. Starting off in the late hour games, Seahawks versus Browns, both 4-2 teams. Seahawks have been middle of the pack. Browns average out to about the same. Defense has been very good. Offense has been okay. Granted, they've had to play P.J. Walker and DTR and just other QBs, not Deshaun Watson, but not a bad team overall. This one's weird. It's not a very common matchup between the Browns and the Seahawks, so you don't really have a lot to base this off of. The Seahawks have had some injuries. Uchenna Nwosu's out. They are bringing back Frank Clark. That is a relatively new move starting today. I doubt he plays in this game. But Seattle, they've been kind of on a tear, and I'm going to give them one. I'm going to give them this one. The Browns have won some games they probably shouldn't. The Niners game, the Colts game. That luck has to run out at some point, and, this is a good time. The Seahawks are a good team, whether or not they are the better team. They're a good one, and it's always, it's a toss-up when you play 2 good teams together. Moving on, Broncos-Chiefs. Chiefs have been very good. Broncos have not been very good. The Broncos almost won 2 weeks ago. Yeah, they're playing within 3 weeks twice. It's kind of strange. Very winnable game for the Broncos last time. They are the home team here. Could they squeak this one out? Absolutely. It's possible. When you play in a division game, anything can happen. It always is the case no matter who the 2 divisional teams are. One of the best teams in the league versus one of the worst. They can do it. They almost did last time. It's not going to happen, though. It's just, they're just the inferior team. I don't think so. They're probably going to be looking to shop some players. Who knows if Jerry Jeudy's out, Cortland Sutton's out, Patrick Surtain could be out. Who knows? The Broncos team might just have a fire sale, and everybody could be gone in a week. The Cardinals, the Ravens, battle the Birds. Ravens have been pretty good. Cardinals not so much, but what is there to expect from them? They are probably the worst roster in NFL history. I'm not even going to go much farther into this because there's not much of a reason to. The Cardinals shouldn't have won a game to this point, and they've won 1. So, congrats, and they're going to lose this week. Ravens move to 6-2, sadly. The Niners and the Bengals. One of the more interesting games this week, that's for sure. The Niners are obviously a pretty good team, but Brock Purdy is now out with a concussion that he started feeling side effects on the team playing for after last game. Interesting. No red hat check there. Interesting enough. But the Bengals have obviously started the season rough. Been the worst offense. A little bit skewed numbers with the rough offense they had in the very beginning of this season. The defense has been middle of the pack, but on the higher end. This is a huge game for the Bengals. If they can knock off the 49ers, this could be a huge stepping stone to them getting back into like their real contention like they should be. If not, they're 3-4, and that's a negative record. That's rough. So this game is a lot for the Bengals, and that could mean a lot for the Niners, especially without Brock Purdy, because he's their number one quarterback. However, Sam Darnold might be the best backup in the league just on paper in terms of he's capable. He's a talented guy. He's a capable quarterback, and in a Niners system like this, I don't know if I'm not worried about it. I mean, to be honest with you, I still am going to have the Niners winning. However, this one could be close. This is a game to watch. This is definitely an interesting one, and this one probably draws a lot of the national crowd this week. Now to Sunday Night Football, Chargers-Bears. Who put this game on the docket? I don't care if you thought the Bears were going to be good. What kind of matchup is this? Tyson Bagent versus Justin Herbert. What? I mean, Tyson Bagent is a better quarterback than Justin Fields, and I'm almost not even joking. He can at least throw a football correctly. But this is just rough. I mean, yeah, they might score because the Chargers defense has been kind of whack, but at the same time, I feel like this could be a Chargers coming out party a little bit where they kind of just beat up on them. Tyson Bagent had a great first game, but they're not going to let it continue. I think the Chargers are going to win this one, move to 3-4, and start trying to work towards that footing in the AFC playoff race really quick. And Monday Night Football, once again, another game. I mean, just Lions are obviously good, but the Raiders, really, that's not really the best matchup. The defense got exposed for the Lions last week. Granted, it was a relatively good offense they played. But, I mean, this is one of the worst combos in the league in terms of the offense-defense rankings. I mean, they're probably one of the worst combos, if not the worst. Even the Broncos have a better offensive rating than them, and not much worse of a defensive rating. So, this is a rough one. I mean, the Lions will win this one and move to 6-2. If they don't, then, I think that's pretty important, you know? I mean, if they don't, that would be huge for the Vikings, that's for sure. But they're playing the Raiders, and the Raiders have Aiden O'Connell probably starting. That's one thing I will say for the Raiders. Start him, because at least try to look forward to the future, and that's Aiden O'Connell maybe, so give him a chance to prove that he could be the future. Either way, that will be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. All those things help me out a ton, and, don't cost you a thing. So, like I said before, if you are enjoying this content, please get me to 1,000 subs so I can do another jersey giveaway. Either way, thank you guys for watching. Peace.